going on, everybody? How goes it? I hope everybody is having a great Wednesday. We have got a big show lined up. I got one of my favorite channels here going to hang out with us today or this evening, GREYMAN Prepping. If you guys don't know him, get to know him. His link is at the top of the chat. So what we're going to do is we're going to say hello to everybody. I'm going to play a little trailer for GREYMAN and we'll pop him up. And if you guys have questions, put them in the chat. I got somebody in the basement. We'll put my questions into private comments so I can be sure and ask GREYMAN. He's a great guy, very open guy, very fun to listen to, and very informative about his stuff. He knows what he's doing, guys. So let's say hello to everybody and see what's happening. Naj, hello, hello. Zulita Family Channel, hello. Let's see. Patty B, hello, my friend. Nice to see you. Fantastic Travels. What's up, girl? Hope all is well. Stay tuned because we're going to be talking about prepping with vans and prepping with RVs. Let me see. Scroll on down here a little bit. Ava Potterfield and friends. Hey, hey, hey. How are you, Missy May? Nice to see you. V, hello. Call me V is in the house. Land Cloud Adventures. What is going on? Step Van Dan's in the house. How are you, Step Van Dan? Exploring the West Coast. What's up, my friend? Let's see. Mary Jones. Hello, hello. Thanks for being here. Let me keep scrolling. We got 35 to start out with. Now we're rocking, guys. Here we go. Let me keep scrolling here. Desert Adventures in Arizona. How are you? Nice to see you guys. TGIF, thank you, and thank you for being here. Naj, hello, hello. Lori B, hi. How you doing? Rolling Homestead and Wild Animals. What's going on? Nice to see you. Fantastic Venture, Life Ventures. Hello, thanks for being here. Time for Exploring Ron Darrell Adventures. Thanks, guys, for being here. G Family, hope you're doing great today, my friend. Nice to see you guys. All right, Zach Morris, how is it? How you doing, Zach? Thanks for being here. Angler 2058. Let's see. Linda Barker's in the house. What's up, Linda? Nice to see you. Fairy Dust, hello, hello. Thanks for being here. Shanna Craft, hello. Mellow Nomadic, Aloha Conk is in the house. What's going on? Northern Girl Hobbies, one of my fave channels, is in here. All you guys are my favorite. I love you guys all. Van Life Rocks, Lisa Artscape. How are you? Thanks for being here. Let me keep scrolling here. Home on the Hitch, Mayhem RV. You guys, all you RVers and all you van lifers, this is going to be a good show. You can learn a lot, how to prep your van, how to prep your RV for emergencies, such as emergency food and stuff. So you guys stay tuned. Mike Coxmall, hello, hello. Thanks for being here. Let me scroll on to 42 in the house to start out with. Blind Views. Say what? How goes it, Blind Views? Thanks for being here. Nice to see you. And welcome to the show, my friend. As always, I love seeing all of you guys in here. Thank you to all the family members for being here. Barefoot in AK, hello, my friend. Nice to see you. If I miss anybody, please don't hold it against me. Fit for Expedition, hello, hello. Nice to see you. All right, guys. Now, you guys, be sure to watch this little trailer. This trailer, this promo is from RV on the Wayside. He made this for me because I told him GREYMAN Prepping is one of my fave channels and I want to do something special for him. So I guys want you to check this out. And while it's playing, I'll get GREYMAN up here with me. So be sure and watch this. What's up, Gray? How goes it, buddy?
That was an awesome intro, Gina. That was totally awesome.
Man, nothing like it, man. The coffee and you, that's the way to go, guys. Guys, this is Gray from GREYMAN Prepping. Be sure and put your questions in the chat as we're talking here. I got somebody that will put them in the private chat for me so I won't miss them. And that would be meant to be RV, and she's in the basement working hard. She's one of my mods, and all my mods are awesome. All the mods links are listed below in the description. And up above is Greyman's link. Be sure and click on that because you're going to want to watch this channel. This channel is going to blow up big. I'm telling you, this is a rocking channel. All right. Oh, thank you, Van Vita Travels, for the $2 super chat, my friend. All right, Gray. So how goes it, my friend?
Been a busy and steady day. I've enjoyed it. I like Wednesdays. I'm usually out in the wilderness. I had some good times.
I seen a gator. That was good.
A lot of interesting comments with that video. Like, hey, how did you get so close? And I said, I did it totally with my phone, not a camera.
Oh, that was all on your phone?
Yep, I had to get up close and personal with those gators.
I was tripping on that gator a little bit. I was like, dang, dude's going to lose his finger. Now his phone. But hello, Klingon Princess. Hello, hello. I see some names I don't recognize. And thank you all the new folks for being here. Going Green Mom. Hello. So great. Tell me, what's your channel about? Let's let everybody know about your channel.
So basically, GREYMAN Prepping, it's a preparedness channel. I kind of cover multiple topics. I see everybody in chat, and I just want to say hi to everybody in chat.
Yes.
As well. So I can't really type, but I say what's up to everybody. But the channel is about preparedness and being prepared for all kinds of different things. You know, my show is kind of a variety of things. Let's say I can break it down for you guys real quick. On Sundays, it's more of the media and political stuff where I kind of discuss things in there that may affect, you know, us as people. On Mondays, I do the Medical Monday, which, you know, Gina loves the Medical Mondays, which I kind of discuss medical topics from like gear, also into like medicinal stuff, wild edible plants, and all that stuff that I'm getting into. Tuesdays is my interview day when I have other guests that come on. Let's say like how Gina has me on tonight. I bring guests. I've been moving all around. I think the last guest I had was from South Africa.
Right. That was a good show.
Great. A lot of good feedback on that. Wednesdays is my Geared Up Wednesdays. I usually try to do my Geared Up Wednesdays. Sometimes I'll slip up, but I threw that gator in there today.
That was good.
One up the sleeve, you know.
That was good.
And then Thursdays is more of a free-for-all. Thursday nights at 10:30. It's late here on the East Coast, but a lot of folks just like to chit-chat. We kind of talk about anything. We'll talk about, we can talk about retro 80 games to prepping to news or whatever happens to come across the board. And sometimes I invite folks on to come up there with me and just have a good time.
Right. New people in the chat. Blind Views, thank you for that super chat, my friend. Much appreciated. I've seen a few new people pop in. Ronald S. 1962, hello. Boondock Charlie, hello. All you guys, hello. If I miss you coming in, I'm saying hello now, Traveling Donkeys. All right, Gray Man, the first question. A lot of people don't know what Gray Man means. So would you let us know? So
GREYMAN itself. So there's a reason why I chose GREYMAN for my name. One is the visible appearance. Of course, you guys can see I'm a bit gray. But also there's called the GREYMAN theory. They call it the GREYMAN look. And the best way to give you an analogy of what that means is this: whenever there's a scenario, you kind of want to blend in with folks. You don't want to be the odd man out. So let's say let's say there's a ride outside your house or something like that, and it's coming towards your neighborhood and you want to take your family and kind of leave. Make sure that you look like those riders. Make sure that you look like the part so that they won't even look at you once, because if you look like the opposite or the enemy, they're going to come at you. So you want to kind of blend in with any scenario. Imagine if you were in cowboy boots and a cowboy hat and you were in New York City, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. So you kind of want to blend in with whatever environment that you're in so that no one really notices you.
Okay. Yep. And I like that when you said, yeah, just imagine being in a bread line and in camo and everybody's going to notice you, you know?
Yeah,
definitely. A question just popped in from Brenda Oots. Gray Man, are you on the East Coast?
I'm on the East Coast, southern East Coast in Florida. Good old Florida.
Nice and warm there. Nice and warm. Hello, Sergeant Mascot. Hello. Thank you for being here. Everybody new into the chat, thanks for being here. All right, so we know what Gray Man stands for. So great. On your medical stuff, what do you have you have an extensive medical bag? Is it very extensive, or, you know, first aid bag or whatever?
I do. I have multiple bags. I have multiple of what I call, these are IFAC bags here. These are small medical bags here.
Yeah.
They're trauma kits. something that we in the military would carry. Those are for what I mean by trauma is if you were to get extensive lacerations, you get shot, you lose an arm, a leg,
Right.
any of that kind of stuff. That's extreme trauma, something where it's just kind of like a stop the bleed bag. And I keep tourniquets in there and all that fun stuff like that. Then it's way over there, but I do have that video that Gina was looking at. I have it full size. Basically, it's a hospital in a bag. Anything you could think of that a hospital would have, I probably have in that bag, all the way up to from surgical kits to medications to IVs to saline, you name it, it's in that bag.
Awesome.
And something in a bag like that it's not like super recommended for everybody to have. It's more for folks that if you have a MAG, or what a MAG is a mutual assistance group, or a group of folks that you're helping support, is that it's for everyone. It's more, the little one is more for an individual, like let's say yourself in a van or an RV.
Right.
It's an extensive boo-boo bag, as I call them. And then the other one is for like a group of folks. If you're, let's say you're in a caravan of RVs and you guys are traveling and someone needs to have that full medical kit.
Right. Thank you, Morris family, for that super chat. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And will somebody, the people dropping super chats, will somebody just throw their links in the chat if you guys get a chance? New people in the chat, hello, hello. We got 62 in here. Shanna, Dan in, Christina, 4 Seasons. Thanks, guys, for being here. So on those bags that you just showed, now, do you buy those already with the stuff in them, or did you put it in there? Did you buy it separately?
That's a good question. And you can buy, like the small one, you can buy IFAC kits online, but they're going to have some things that you're going to actually need to add to that. Because they have some good stuff in there, but there's sometimes it's just kind of like thrown in there random stuff. There's some good ones out there and there's some bad ones out there. I tell people, do your research into an IFAC. And IFAC stands for Individual First Aid Kit, for those who are just curious. That make sure I'm not making up words here. So you can buy them pre-made, but there's going to be things that you may want to add in there because sometimes the tourniquets that they'll send you aren't the best. You know, they're going to be foreign made. You kind of want to, upgrade those tourniquets because you don't want something to fail on you. Right.
Now, I see another question here from Call Me V, and I'm going to ask Greyman because I really don't know. Is there a plastic tote or / bin that you recommend that is watertight?
I mean, man, there's a few totes out there. It's just, well, I guess it's different for someone in an RV or van group because I guess a tote would make more sense because it's more where you can put it in specific spots. I don't personally have totes. I have totes for like stuff in my house, for preparations and stuff like that. And the ones that have a rubber seal, if you buy the totes, because there's different brands, they have a rubber seal around it and they clip on 4 sides. You'll see them a lot of times in the fishing section, and those are made to be waterproof and watertight.
Okay. All right. And so now what is the price range on, we'll go back to the bags. What are the price range on the bag? Like if you were in a caravan, the price range on a single bag, what's the price range on those?
Oh, like on the med bags?
Yeah.
The ones that are pre-done or the ones that are empty?
The ones that are pre-done.
Pre-done, they can run anywhere from, let's say, as low as, let's say, $40-$50 and as high as up to, let's say, $100-$125.
Okay. That's not bad. Hello, Jerry Holly. I just seen you come in. Thank you for being here. And now, so if you were to stock it yourself, what would it cost?
You're going to save probably anywhere from let's say $25 to $50, because you can individually find stuff that you may not need that's in there, because sometimes they put stuff that's kind of like that's in there. Right. Because let's say gauze, I buy gauze by the case. So it's just cheaper to buy it that way. I can pay like $8 to $10 for a case of gauze, individually wrapped, sterilized gauze, and pack it in there versus paying for that has, a roll of gauze that probably they're charging $5 or $6 for. And I'm paying 24 cents for one. So you have to just kind of look at it and see where you can save at. Okay.
I see what you're saying. Now on, so would you recommend, so say you're traveling in a caravan of people, would you recommend that somebody get CPR and first aid certified?
I honestly do. And because you never know when this stuff can come in handy, and stay on top of your certifications. Once you become CPR certified, I think it's every
2 years for me. I'm certified. Yeah.
Okay. So that's great. That's good to hear. Because you never know when that's going to come in handy. And just think about this, that certification may help you save a life. That is the key thing. It might cost a few bucks, but that few bucks is worth a friend, family members, or somebody.
I've heard it. I've used it twice to save 2 lives from a heart attack and one from somebody overdosed.
That is
yeah,
awesome.
it was the craziest feeling in the world. My adrenaline was off the chain. That it was wild. But so now you were a military medic, correct?
Yeah, I was a combat medic in the Army.
Awesome. So you know a lot of stuff about really bad wounds. I mean, I know how to do packing, and I've never done gunshots. But speaking of gunshots, we got a question in the chat here. It's from let's see, who is it from? I missed who it's from. Okay, I'm in the Northwest PA. Is Greyman having problems getting ammo? I have a stockpile, but can't go blow through it at the range.
For me, not so much. I threw a little extra, like I say, an extra in my last video, or not on Sunday's video, right in the beginning of the intro. I went to I call it the Pew Pew Show.
Just Pew Pew Show, yeah.
Just to be YouTube safe, I call it the Pew Pew Show, and I showed prices and ammo that they had there. And this was the day after. They're there for 2 days. This was the second day, and it showed thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds from 5.56, 7.62, 9mm, 357, 45 shotgun shells in all different forms. So here in Florida, where we're at, and the prices are a little bit higher, but not as bad as other states. So right now, currently, we're doing pretty well. But Florida is known. Right. It's been nicknamed the Gunshine State at one point.
Right. There are not so much problems here. A little bit here in Oregon, but not too bad. Mary Jones in the chat says, "Thank you for your service, my friend."
Thank you.
And okay, so now moving on from the bags, what are the top 5 things in your bug out bag?
So in a bug out bag or a get home bag, we call it the 5 C's. Now, you may have other preppers and stuff. They've got the 10 C's or 15 C's or 20 C's. People keep on adding into it. But the main thing is the 5 C's. And I put little bullet points to make sure that I get everything correct. Right. I'm really good with my notes, or at least try to be.
I am bad with notes.
But the 5 C's are going to basically consider of cutting. You need something for cutting, combustion, cordage, container, and cover. And if we like, we can go over those a little bit if you want to.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
All right. So cutting. Cutting means any type of utensil. I got a couple demonstrations for you guys here. Cutting can mean something as simple as a knife that you can use. You know what I mean? Something to either defend with, to hunt with, simple stuff like that. You can also have stuff like a saw, small compact saw, which is good for something like with you guys. You know, you got a small.
Those are nice. Yes, those are nice.
And make sure you get the right ones. The silky saws are phenomenal. They're a little bit more expensive than some of your cheapos that are $10. These I think are like 25, 30, but it'll last you quite some time, and it'll rip through that kind of material quickly. Another thing I would suggest is razors, maybe some disposable scalpels and things like that if you want to use it for the medical side of things, but they can become in handy, especially a straight edge razor. Let's say you hit a deer on the side of the road and it's suffering, and sometimes you don't want to use a knife. You can use a straight edge razor, and it's very quick, or to shave with, or other purposes of that nature.
Gray, you got some family in here. Bonnie Bethel here from the Greyman family.
Yeah. I've been seeing some names pop up there.
Thank you all for being here, and I am honored to have a Greyman up here with me, and you guys, I'm honored to have you in the chat. You guys are all amazing. That's cool. All right, so yeah, continue on. Sorry for the interruption.
Oh, no, fine. So then we're going to kind of move into combustion. So that's kind of cutting. So just think in your head, cutting, okay? Things to cut with, you know what I mean? And that, like I said, that's knives, razors, saws, hatchets, axes, any of that stuff like that. That's going to be called, that's in your cutting section. So that's C number 1. All right, C number 2 is combustion. Combustion can mean something as simple as a lighter, matches, ferro rod, and other fire starting materials like kindling and stuff like that. So drop it on the floor. Here it is. I kind of want to show you guys, because you can buy cheap matches at the Dollar Tree, which are nice, but these are not as expensive as people think are. These are, they call them Typhoon matches, and my camera should focus on them.
Okay, yes.
Yes, they work in wind and water. You can dip these in water and they'll relight.
Wow.
Because when you need fire, you need fire. You know what I mean? It could be, like I said, if you're freezing or cold, you need to disinfect water. You need to boil it. You need to cook. a lot of these can come in super handy, and they come in these nice little containers, these fire waterproof containers as well.
And now can you get this stuff on Amazon, or where are you getting it from? Or
yeah,
Amazon?
You can get it on Amazon. I get a lot of stuff from my shop. I have a wholesale account because we are in the preparedness. Well, like my shop is getting into the preparedness field of things.
Right.
And we're starting to sell a lot of things in the shop. I'm like their consultant on what to bring in and to and to sell. And then a lot of you guys are probably familiar with certain things. Let's say like a ferro rod. I don't know if you guys
right. Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you guys probably seen. I don't see the camera will focus on those. There's all different types of sizes. The bigger, the better for me. It throws bigger sparks.
Right.
And I wanted to add one other thing to you guys is if you guys get an opportunity to, when it comes to cutting, this might help you guys too, because it's an all-in-one. It's a Leatherman.
Oh, I have, yes. Yeah. I have one of those.
A multi-tool, it just comes in handy, from can openers to pliers to wire cutters to screwdrivers to a knife to a little mini saw. And if you get a solid brand, you can do a lot with it. Because if you buy the cheapos, I'm telling you, and it sucks to have to spend the kind of money that you have to sometime. But if you have to buy anything and you don't have the money right now, buy something cheap, because it's better than nothing.
Exactly.
It's to have something.
I see Patty B has a question here for Greyman. Do you have any of the 5 C's in your merch or links to them?
So I've been creating links.
Okay.
I'm working with Amazon. A lot of people probably heard of Amazon affiliate. So I'm doing that because it's going to benefit the channel. With what I'm doing with the finances for my channel, a lot of it I'm putting back into the channel for gear, for giveaways. And I hope one day to do what Rudy over at Alaska Prepper is doing is if something happens here in Florida or other charities and food banks, I'll be able to do something with that as well. So I'm using the Amazon affiliate. I just kind of started that. So if you guys, I always tell people, if you guys like see something that you want that I show on here, feel free to email me.
Okay.
Anytime. Under every single one of my videos that I have my email posted, and I have my PO box posted. If someone wants to just write a letter versus, emailing me, maybe they want to do pen and paper kind of stuff.
Right.
I can get information out to you folks that way, give you the links and give you a direction of where to go on. Just with my experience in using some of the gear, some stuff that's failed and some stuff that's still going strong.
Right.
In that sense of that.
Another question from Rolling Homestead and Wild Edibles. Greyman, what is in your everyday EDC?
My everyday EDC, I got it spread all over the place because half of the stuff that I've been showing is in my EDC. I carry a flashlight, which is kind of a tactical flashlight.
A tactical flashlight, okay.
We'll just hold it back here, but this is a tactical flashlight. It has a lot of different modes, from moonlight mode all the way to extreme powerful light. If you need to pierce that darkness, light is a savior in the dark. And if you break down on the side of the road, and speaking of which, this has a magnetic top on there, so you can clip it onto your hood or whatnot.
Oh, I like that. Nice. And
you can also use it as a defensive weapon. It has this edge on here so that you can use it if you're out and someone comes up to you, you can actually hit them and
nice.
Do some damage. My Leatherman is there. I have a small pocket knife that I carry with me everywhere I go. I carry this, not the big ferro rod, because it's kind of big to have in my pocket, but I carry my little ferro rod. On my keychain, I have a thing. It's called Rescue Me. It's probably going to be hard to see. I can try to get it to zoom up on there. There we go.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, and it has a way. It pops off your keychain really quick to cut that seatbelt, and this breaks the window.
Right.
So I had that part of my EDC as well. And what else do I got in me? Because I got stuff in my pockets too. Trying to see what else I got.
We need to do a video of what's in the Greyman's pocket. That's what we need to do.
I carry so many little odds and ends, and my wife will ask me all the time, like, how do you carry all that stuff? I said, that's why I wear the kind of pants I do, but it doesn't look like I'm carrying a lot.
Right. Hence Greyman.
Right. You don't want to look like you're bulging with all kinds of gear and stuff like that.
Right. You got some more folks in here. I think I scrolled by me here. Let's see. Hello, Edicel the Pet. That's a friend of mine. I seen a name that I didn't recognize, but I've seen him on yours. Harvey Black too, I think.
Harvey Black is one of my mods.
Yes. Hello, Harvey Black. Thank you for being here.
See, my small fishing kit's nice to have in your pocket as well.
Oh yeah, that is a good one. Yeah.
Very tiny. But yeah, and I'm not going to show the pew pew that is part of my EDC, but
yeah, I gotcha. No pew pews. So now you were on the fire of your bug out bag, so that was number 2.
Okay,
right?
and The fire starting material you can use. I don't know if anybody's familiar with the cotton ball stuff, Vaseline and cotton ball, or a bird's nest. Let me see.
And I got a question. I just seen it in the chat. Is prepper spray good to have as in your bag?
It is and it isn't. So it depends on who you're spraying it at. Because if you're spraying it at certain animals, some animals are pretty resilient, especially the bigger animals like bears and stuff like that. People think bear spray is going to save them. Look at the research behind bear spray. Let's say a black bear, maybe you might get lucky, but a grizzly, not so much.
Not so much, right? Now, bear spray would deter a person, won't it?
It can. It can. I have bear spray positioned throughout the house for my daughter to use, because she's young. So it's a good deterrent. I use the one with the UV dye, so it marks the person. But it's kind of, you want to make sure when you spray it and make sure there's no wind's not blowing at you, because then it's going to hit you. So you just know how to use the spray. Because people freak out and they'll go like, oh my God, and they'll spray it, and all of a sudden the wind catches them, and then they're down, and then they're being attacked.
Right.
Let me see. So this is the what I meant by cotton balls. These are cotton balls soaked in Vaseline. Vaseline kind of makes them water resistant when you're starting a fire. I know this is going to seem excessive, but this is in my get home bag. But I keep a pre-made bird's nest. I don't know. See, it'll focus on that thing there. Pre-made bird's nest fire tending material with some cheap matches as well. And I did. I have something because I just did something today. I was chopping some pine wood, and I keep little chunks of pine wood in the.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Like I said, I might be excessive, just so you guys know.
So let me ask you now. I asked you downstairs in this, but what does your bug out bag weigh?
My main bug out bag, I think. What did I say? It was about 42 pounds.
42.
Yeah, right around 40 pounds. And you kind of want to look at about 20% of your body weight. Some people go as high as 30. If you're military, a rucksack, you're looking at a whole different thing. But to the average person, you kind of want to stay around 20% just to be on the safe side.
Right.
And if you do build a bug out bag, you need to use the stuff, learn the stuff that's inside of it, put it on, walk around with it, and get used to that weight on your back. Yes.
Test it.
And proper foot attire is going to be huge, because you want to protect the ankles with that weight on your back.
Yes. So, and when we get to 5 things of your bag done, we're going to move on to the living in an RV and van life.
All right. Where were we at? So we're moving into cordage.
Cordage, yes.
Cordage. I guess I have rope over there, but so cordage basically means paracord, twine, fishing line, snare wire. I could go over there if you want me to. I can get up and go get the rope that I have. But I can show you the paracord.
Okay, I have a question about the paracord. Now, in the video I seen, you said have paracord that you can use it for fire starter in the part of it. Was that it?
Yes.
And fishing line. Okay, so there's a difference in paracords. I mean, like, besides size.
There's Dollar Tree paracord, not so good.
Not so good.
When you do your research, or you can, like I said, you guys can email me, because there's different types of paracord, and I can steer you right in the right direction. Because the good paracord has like 7 strands, and it has like I said, a monofilament in there. It has like a little fire starting thing in there. They hold weight better. They're just, you can use it for a lot more stuff. It's like how do I say? It's just like a preparedness cord, if you want to call it that.
Right.
I can go grab that real quick.
Okay, cool. Guys, I hope you're enjoying the show. All of the folks that have just come in, if I've missed you in the chat, I am so sorry. I'm trying to look right now. Emily L, hello. Thanks for being here.
This is more of a heavy duty rope, you know what I mean?
Right.
9-Allen rope, depends on what you're doing. Like I said, guys don't have to go this far, depending on your situation and how much room you have, of course, in an RV. RVs, I guess, have a lot more room than, let's say, a van. Or something like that.
Yeah, but, I mean, mine's big for a van. I'm in a step van, but it's like I really don't have to worry about weight either. So, but a lot of people in RVs do, and I suggest I think everybody should have a small, even if in an RV and a van, have a bug out bag in case that van breaks down or that RV breaks down and you're in the middle of nowhere. I think it's a good thing to have.
Yeah, and having spare parts in your van or RV. I mean, I'm assuming you folks know that, with fan belts and spark plugs or anything that you can get to without having a full blown mechanic there and the tools to use it.
Right.
So, and like I said, fishing line. You can just get several hundred yards. It's real small because you just
Right.
never know. And you can tie that off to, let's say, a knife, or tie it off to a, like a fake fishing pole, like a piece of wood or something. And just kind of, if you're starving and you have no other means,
Right.
that might be a good idea. That being said, is, that's why I showed that little, wherever it went, this little fishing kit, because I have hooks and, I mean, come on, you can do it. There we go. It just has, some stuff in there, swivels, hooks, weights, lures, just to kind
That's
of.
excellent. Yeah.
Because
also I seen you in a video say have a sewing kit, because you can turn a Singer needle into a hook if you need be.
Correct. I know some people use different things. I know I got one floating around here because they have like these little cards, these little survival cards, and some of them are good, some are bad. But this one, someone gave this to me. I don't know if it'll focus.
I have one of those too. Yeah.
So some of them have like where you can pop out fishing hooks in them and stuff like that. People use those. Some are good and some are bad. Like I said, just make sure you do your research before you waste your money on certain stuff. All right. And then, like I said, snare wire, most people snare wire, it's just a metal thin wire.
Hello, Lady Gray. Hello. Thanks for seeing her in the chat.
She's sneaking on me today.
Uh-oh, you're in trouble.
Oh, okay. And what was I saying? Snare wire, if you know how to snare small game, let's say animals or squirrels, rabbits, birds, things like that. I know most people don't want to do that. But if you're in a survival situation, you need food for you to survive or your family to survive, then it might come down to the wire, literally.
Right. So that's number 3, cordage.
Mm-hmm.
And what's number 4?
Number 4 is a container. So containers can mean a multitude of things. So containers mainly, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Nalgene. Nalgene is a container that you can use to store water.
Yes, I've heard of it.
Okay. It's because it's lightweight. And let me see, I put a little note here in regards to Nalgene. So Nalgene is a brand of plastic products developed originally for laboratory use, including such items as jars, bottles, test tubes, and petri dishes that were shatterproof and lighter than glass, and they are BPA free. You can find these bottles at Bass Pros and a lot of the sporting stores and stuff like that. Just make sure it is real Nalgene and not fake stuff.
Okay.
You can also use the stainless steel containers to store your water and stuff like that. Stainless steel is good because if you have water in that, then you can use that to boil. If you have a wide mouth on it, that's also a good thing because you want to be able to scoop water on there.
I have 2 like that, 2 large 64-ounce wide mouth steel or metal.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that can, that's one part of the containers. Also, containers can mean stuff like cooking ware, let's say stuff like this that you would use for camping. You know what I mean?
Right.
So those are containers as well. And they're very small. These things are very small. And
lightweight.
Yeah. I like this one because it has a lid because it'll boil water quicker with the lid on there.
Right.
And also, I might be able to get this on camera.
Has the measuring on the inside.
Yeah. There you go. You can kind of, because when you're cooking some food, you might need to know specific measurements other than, messing it all up and whatnot.
Right.
Because when you have, like, let's say freeze-dried foods, they have measurements on them, and it'll tell you how many ounces of water to use. And so you want to do that because if not, it gets all mushy or gets over water, and then it's like soup eggs versus eggs,
Right. Van Life Rocks just commented he has a metal pee bottle.
Hey,
there you go.
Whatever works,
That'll work. I just seen that as me. Oh, okay, I see. Okay. I was reading private chats here. Okay, so that's number 4, bottle containers.
Yeah, anything you would consider a container. It could be stuff for medicines and all that fun stuff like that.
And preferably metal because you can heat it.
Yeah, stainless steel is good to go.
Stainless steel, right? Okay, and number 5.
Number 5 is cover. Cover, and so what I mean by cover, it's stuff like, let's say I got there. The first thing you're going to think of is clothes. So clothes is very important, of course. But also, when I talk about clothes, I mean, remember the type of environment that you're in. If you're in a hot and humid environment, if you're in a cold environment, and know what kind of layers to use, cotton is not as friendly as people think it is.
Right.
Wool is the better option. Having a thin layer underneath you and then wool over you, especially if you're in a cold environment, because you have that thin layer wicking the moisture away from you and going into the wool. And then maybe as a third layer, something that's kind of water resistant or wind resistant to kind of protect you from the elements there. So kind of dig into your clothes and your socks, like I said, and just kind of think of where you live. If you live in the desert, you live in the mountains, you live in, the swamps,
Right.
you kind of want to have your clothes geared to a specific type.
Awesome.
Then we're also talking about tarps. A lot of people use tarps for either for the ground. People use tarps for, building shelters.
Right.
And there's some really good tarps out there. You can buy, I got one here. Instead of getting a full blown tarp, if you're in a van and or somewhere small, you can use something as simple as one of these things. They're pretty cheap. This is a 5x7.
Okay.
5x7. And what's good about this is this will retain body heat. It reflects heat. It has a reflective side that you can use to signal people. And if
wow.
you see down there, you can see that it's like a emergency blanket. It's just a way to retain heat you can put on the ground to keep you up off the ground and protect you from that cold seeping in through your body.
Right.
And then stuff like that. And then again, let's say tents, let's say you have a nice tent and stuff like that. And like I said, again, with tents, make sure you know what you're buying, because if a lot of tents are crap, the wind blows a certain way and they tear easily.
Yeah. Right.
So cover, clothes, tarps, tents, those kinds of things, natures. And those are basically the 5 C's of survival.
Nice.
So, like I said, there's more people can go into. There are people with kind of 10 C's, 15 C's, 20 C's, but this will at least get you started in the right direction.
Van Life Voyager says, great tip about stainless and boiling. Yes, that is a very good tip. Now, so Greyman, if you were a nomad in a van life or RV life and you were going to bug out, you had to bug out, where would you prefer to go and why?
Well, I would probably go more towards like the kind of in the Missouri area. I like Florida, and Florida has a lot of good things about it. We had the sea and stuff like that. But if I had to absolutely bug out, and the reason there's not as an abundance of big game here. We have alligators, we have pigs, we have small little deer, and a lot of little rodents and squirrels and rabbits and raccoons and stuff like that. But in the mountains, you have access to a little bit more of bigger game. You have access to fresher water, the streams and the creeks and the ponds and stuff up there. The forest is a little different, and I wouldn't go too high because you don't want to go somewhere where it's extreme cold or where it's too low lying. So kind of in the middle, somewhere where it's nice and temperate, where the temperatures don't change too much, because you have to think about if you're going to be growing your own food, the soil, and like here in Florida, the soil sucks unless you have an above ground raised bed. Up here, the further you go, the soil is a lot better to grow. So I would somewhere in that mountainous area, because most folks are not going to try to come up a mountain. They're going to stay in the city and maybe go out a little bit outside the city, when things go really bad. But most people get left alone out in the mountains.
Meant to Be says, sounds like South Carolina.
Yeah, all along the Appalachian Trail, there's great spots. I figure most people know about the Appalachian Trail.
Right.
You guys out west have another mountain range out there. But I know out in Denver, those mountains up there, I've been over to Breckenridge, and that was pretty high up there and icy cold. Yeah,
Oregon is great in the summer, but it's a lot of rain in the winter, like in Washington. And so, I mean, it has its advantages. Things grow well here. But I can see the disadvantages in the wintertime to it. Laura the Explorer says, lots of people want to purchase inexpensive gear, but sometimes it's worth it to go mid-range, especially on tents. Absolutely.
100% agree. 100% agree. Do your research on tents. Look at reviews. And you want to, if you buy a tent, use it a few times before it gets into a situation that you depend on it.
Right.
So you can learn if there's any faults in that tent and things that you might be able to do to like reinforce that tent, or maybe put some waterproofing on it or something. Put a tarp over it. When you have your tent, run a ridge line and run your tarp, over that to protect the tent as well.
Right. Now on so if you're an RV or van, and considering weight, if you were going to prep food up for an emergency, what would you prep? What kind of food? What do you buy to prep up?
Awesome, good question. Because I thought about that. I'm thinking, of size. Things that I'm looking at size. I'm looking at longevity. I'm looking at nutrition. And so I kind of made a quick little list. Well, it's more of an extensive list, but we don't have to go through all of them.
Oh, it's fine. Whatever.
Matter of fact, I can go through, like I said, one of them was beef jerky. A lot of people know beef jerky.
Right.
Beef jerky is high in protein, high in calories. It has a shelf life up to about 2 years, and it can withstand extreme temperatures in vehicles.
Right.
So that's a good product.
That is a good product. Yes.
Instant oatmeal. You can buy a big thing of oats.
Uh-huh.
As long as you have the water to boil it. I mean, because I don't think you want to eat dry oats.
Right. Right.
But it's great for long-term storage. It's very high in fats and proteins because that's when it's come down. You need carbs, proteins, and fats to keep that energy going and to keep you full.
Okay.
And stuff like that. Another one is trail mix. A lot of people are probably familiar with trail mix.
Trail mix. Okay.
They have a lot of energy boosting sugars, mixed nuts, fats, again, healthy fat.
Perfect.
They're just a high calorie, rich snack.
Well, good for you. So yeah.
Agreed. Here's one that I thought was interesting because they are lightweight and they probably last forever. I don't know if it's true or not, but ramen noodles.
Right.
Ramen noodles, because they're so light, you can buy a case of them for just a couple of bucks. They don't offer much as a nutrients, but they have high in sodium. And I know people like, let's say with heart issues and stuff like that, can have a lot of salts. But you can do without the pack. But it'll, if you're in a situation where you're sweating a lot and you're burning a lot and you need some sodium intake, you can use a little bit of that seasoning packet to get some of that sodium back into your body.
Right.
Now, this one might not be for everybody, but they are small and compact. This is an entire meal in a bag. We use these in the military all the time.
And is that MRE?
MRE, yes.
Yes. Okay. Now, are those quite expensive, the MREs?
They can be, yes. Sometimes you can get them at discount. You got to kind of look around for this stuff like that. Luckily I have vet friends that have an abundance of them, and sometimes like, hey man, you want this box? I don't like the ones that are in there because there's all different flavors and some people have their favorites. But a quick note, since Mark is in chat, in the MREs there's a stick of gum.
There's a stick of gum.
There's a stick of gum in most MREs.
Really?
And the reason there's a stick of gum is to make you use the bathroom, because these MREs can kind of plug you up because of it's nutrient dense. So it's like a natural laxative with these gum. But just wanted to throw that in there. But if you just need to I throw a couple of these in my vehicle, just because if I break down,
just for an emergency.
Yeah, just for emergencies. But the other stuff is cheap, the trail mix and stuff like that.
Well, also I seen in one of your videos you did the little packets of tuna.
Those are my favorite. I love them. They have a 2 to 3 year shelf life.
So that I thought that was a very good idea. It's not too bad for you. It's got protein and it's light. It's not heavy.
You can get the ones that have like the pre-mix in there, and I buy 10 for $1. Or $1. Yeah, $1 a piece. I buy 10 of them.
$1. Yeah. And Lisa Artscape asks, Greyman, how do you keep the water drinkable when you collect it? Do you use a certain filter?
So if you're not trying to boil water, if you're trying to drink water, let's say right out of a stream, and some people think that, if you're on a mountainside and you're drinking that water that's running down, think this: there are animals upstream that are doing stuff to that water that you may not want to be drinking. So there is contaminants that come down there. So if you don't have access to boiling water, you want something simple and compact and small. This one is a brand new one here in a package. That is called a Sawyer Mini. What's great about the Sawyer Mini is it'll filter out up to 100,000 gallons for its life.
Whoa. Wow.
There's a Life Straw out there. It does about, I think, 10,000 gallons, but it can get clogged up easier. This one is a lot easier to clean. And it hooks up. If you have a smart water bottle laying around, I have a couple 1 liter smart bottles that I keep in my car. I keep in my bag. They screw right on those. So you can fill that up with water and screw that on there and be drinking away. And there went my bag. And they have the Sawyer Mini. That's a full size Sawyer. They can range anywhere from, let's say $30 to $40. But how long is that going to last you?
Right.
100,000 gallons. And I've never put one to the test for 100,000 gallons, but if you even look at the half-life at 50,000 gallons, that's a lot of water. Right.
Panay, Texas says her husband should be watching. This is very informative. That's right. Go get him and put him in front of the computer there. Mellow Nomadic Adventures says, Van Life, what about bucket food kits that he's been seeing? The kits like you can buy, I guess maybe the Patriot kits, maybe. There you go.
There you go. Something like that. There, I'm trying to get the camera to focus on there. There you go.
Lunch and dinner. Now, how many meals is that?
Well, you got 92 servings in there. That's per person. So depending, you got to look at, if it's just for you, you have 92 servings in here.
Wow.
For lunch and dinner. And you can see the calories up there, 21,170 calories.
Wow. And now what is a bucket like that run? Average price?
That one, if you look, Amazon is, I found Amazon easier to find these on because Augustin's Farms, usually it's one of my favorite brands because it tastes good.
I got some Augustin Farm stuff that's in a can that I put back.
Yeah, I got, we can go the cans as well.
Yep, I got some of those. Yeah, I got 2 of those.
Cheese,
yeah.
107 servings of cheese because I like cheese with my eggs.
And you can buy powdered eggs in that too, Augustin.
Yeah, I have powdered eggs right underneath that one.
Awesome. Nice.
But that one I think they run anywhere from $60 to $80. That has a shelf life of on an average about 25 years. Now you can build these yourselves if you have a dehydrator.
Right.
You can do some other stuff. If you can, I have buckets of rice up there, white rice itself, stored properly with Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers, can last 25, 30 years or almost indefinite. Some people say wheats and oats, dry beans, pastas. So you can also put those together yourself for a lot cheaper.
Well, shoot, with one of those buckets, you could put it in a van and you're set. Because you're usually by yourself when you're living in a van. That's a really good idea, actually. Nomadic Rat Pack says, prepping, I'm downsizing to go nomadic this summer and going through my prepper stuff. One of the biggest challenges, right? Downsizing's rough. Time for exploring Army stores. You can get MREs cheaper. Is that true? Army stores? Yeah. Nice.
The Army surplus stores are great places to shop for all kinds of military gear.
Right. Zach Morris says cans of tuna are cheap if you buy them in the 8-pack can. Yeah, I have some of those stored up.
The cans of tuna are great, but the bag is going to be lightweight and easier to rip into. Right. If you don't have a can opener, or if you lose the way to open that can, I mean, there's ways you can. Funny enough, if you look at a tuna can, you can take that tuna can on the bottom side. If you have a rough surface like concrete, and you can shave that down, and it'll thin out the metal on there, and you can pop it open without a can opener. Just a kind of little prepper trick learned years ago. So worst case scenario, you know what I mean?
Right.
To make these cans and stuff like that.
Right. So now, in a van, a lot of people don't have running water. You know, they have water jugs, and so. And in an RV, a lot of them do have running water. I think 40 gallons is what they carry, maybe a lot of them. I'm not sure. But in the van, what would you keep one of those filtrations? I mean, even though you're not bugging out per se, but would you keep one of those in the van? Like, you know, if you did have to bug out, I mean, would that be one of your things to keep?
I would, because what about if, I'm assuming that these things are portable, or you have to fill these things up. You know, let's say on an RV, it's a reservoir and you fill it up. What if it brings a leak or something breaks, or, you know, someone forgets? And
you're out boondocking and can't get to town or something. Right.
Right. You have a breakdown and you're down there for a couple of days. You know, let's say you're on one of those roads that no one else travels, you know, because you're trying to get away from the city for a while.
The Alaska Highway.
So it's always better to have than not to have.
Right. Better to have. That is the key thing. Hello, Pilgrim Pride Prepping. Hello. Thank you for being here. See, Patty B, tuna full packs are lightweight. Yes, ma'am, they are. I think that is one of the great ideas that he said right here. Tuna full packs are lightweight. I can't remember. Did we cover what 2 weapons you would have?
I don't think we
didn't do it. We talked it downstairs. Yeah. So if you're in a bug out situation and say you're going to the woods or bugging out to the woods by yourself, what 2 weapons would you prefer to have if you could have a choice of only 2?
So I would have. My favorite style of rifle is an AR-15, chambered in a 5.56/223. Hopefully most folks might know what that is. It's just one of the most common rounds in the United States. So you can usually find them anywhere. Let's say something happens on the field and someone drops all their ammo. Usually that's probably going to be the ammo that they have. It's great for hunting. It's great for self-defense. It has decent travel time, decent penetration. There's a lot you can do with that round. So that would be my primary. My secondary, some people would say a handgun, but I would, if I only had two choices and I could only carry two weapons, I would carry that AR, because then you have to also think about this. You have to have ammunition for it and magazines. So you have to think that weight and what you're going to have on you. The other one would be just a blade, like where is it at? Oh, it's outside.
I like that one knife you have. It starts with a B. I can never remember the name of it.
It is the Becker BK2.
Becker, yes, that's the knife I want, right?
Yeah, I was chopping wood with it. It's somewhere. It's somewhere around here. I have it laying around here somewhere.
I just seen Time for Exploring ask, should you have multiple land areas bought to bug out throughout the U.S.? Yeah, if you could, I would think so.
If you have the finances to do something like that, that would be awesome, because let's say you're out in California, you got wildfires, and you need to bug out to somewhere else. But if you bug out to that location, it's overrun by like whatever scenario may be there, or flooded or something like that.
Right.
So if you have the finances to do so, that would be phenomenal. Most of us don't, but
right. I was talking meant to be about this last night, I believe it was. It would be cool to have different areas, one maybe north, one south for the weather, or because it's not so hot up north, and then south for the winter. But
I had something I wanted to throw at you, Gina. I was thinking about doing a video on this, and I've always thought about, if you're in a van or in a car or anything like that, how helpful would it be to have a full working bicycle, let's say attached to the front of your vehicle or on top, anywhere that you can put a bike at?
It would be helpful, for sure. I built a gas powered bicycle.
Oh, okay.
That you could pedal it. You just keep the clutch in if you just want to pedal it like a bike. It was a beach cruiser, and I put a 2-stroke motor on it, and it gets 70 miles to the gallon. It would carry, and I'm a big girl. It'd carry me about 30 miles an hour. And I'm thinking about getting something like that again for sure.
That would be awesome, because if the vehicle breaks down, you have a way to get somewhere,
right,
and get help.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got that question there. Okay, and so now, do you have a different alternative vehicle? Like if you were going to bug out, do you have a bug out vehicle?
My Jeep is what I have currently for a bug out vehicle. I have what they call a preload out in it. So it's a compartment so you can kind of hide stuff in. So sometimes you only may have 30 seconds if things go really, really bad and you really can't grab too much stuff. So I have things pre-planned out.
Right.
So it's grab and go. But in the vehicle, I have stuff that is more pertinent to staying in the vehicle, certain foods and blankets and clothing, additional magazines for my firearms and stuff like that, but hidden, because people are very nosy. Sometimes they'll walk by and like, hey, what's going on in there? So I try to make it just look like just a normal vehicle with pretty much nothing in it, and people just kind of walk on by. Also, if you can have 4x4 in your vehicle, because you don't want to get stuck in mud and sand and snow and all the other stuff like that you can get, all stuck in there.
Do you think an e-bike would be good to have in this case? Say you have a van?
Well, if you have an e-bike, that's an electric bike, right?
Right.
Depending on, because are they powered just by the battery itself? Is there a way to charge them? Is there a solar charger?
I don't know enough about them, but I know a lot of RVers that buy e-bikes. I've seen a lot of them, like on YouTube, a lot of them buying them. And some of those RVers or van lifers, they don't have the ultimate solar system. I know people that do have the ultimate solar system, and I could see where it wouldn't be a problem to charge it. But I often thought, if you're just in the van and you only say have 200 watts of solar and 100 amp hour battery, really, can you charge a bike like that? I don't know. I was just wondering if you knew.
The best battery is you. Your two legs, your arms, that's why I say a regular bicycle was probably, to me, would be a better option, because other than, let's say the chain breaks, but have a spare chain, have a little bike kit, stuck on the bike. So it just,
that was one thing I like about the gas powered bike. All you do is clamp your clutch in and you can pedal it just like a bike. That's how you start it. You just, you kick, you hold your clutch in, you pedal it, you just pop the clutch and it'll start right up. Nice. That's why I like them. And, 70 miles to the gallon is pretty good. But then you can always pedal it if need be. And now I see a Redhead Riding Hood is asking, prepping and minimalism don't seem to go together.
I can understand that statement. It makes sense. Minimalism. I know a lot of folks that live that life, and that they live in certain areas where, with the tiny house and stuff like that. So it's
Right.
very complex. If you have the benefit to having a tiny house is if you have the property to go beyond the minimalist aspect, if you have gardens and land and stuff like that where you can grow food and stuff like that. But if you're in a minimalist situation, you have only, let's say the average person has about 3 days worth of food in their environment. If that happens, unfortunately you may starve if you don't know how to hunt or fish or don't have access to certain stuff.
Right.
So it's a great lifestyle, nothing against it. It just, you can run into some complications living that if things really go sideways or a natural disaster or something like that, where you don't mind have access to normal things that you have access to when the world's normal.
Right. I was talking to Mitsubi last night. We were talking about the show, and she was talking about having property like to bug out to if you're a full-timer RVer or van lifer, and in different areas in the country if you can afford it. But also, I like the thought of what she said is have storage at each property, like underground or whatever you need to be to have it stored, and have prepped, like, prep stuff there, all prep food, firewood. I think that is a great idea. I never really thought of it like that.
We call them prepper caches.
Prepper cache. Okay.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I think Jason did a couple. He was talking about it on his channel today or the other day. He did a couple stuff on that. Now, when it comes to prepper cache, is whenever you bury the stuff, make sure that whatever you're burying, the shelf life of this stuff, and it's sealed properly, and so what's going there. Check on it every once in a while, and if you hide it well, have a map of your area so you know where it's left off, because things change. Let's say you're away for a year and you come back, it could be more brush, more woods, it could be more stuff, more grass. Who knows what could have changed in that environment? So have a little map so you know where it's at, so you're not digging 16,000 holes to find out where your cache is.
Right. Now, can you see the private chat? The very last question in the private chat. It's a few different questions. If you want to touch on that. I was going to read it, but it's quite long.
Yeah, how to make home remedies or medicine using herbs, and how to preserve food.
I love the questions in it.
How to start a fire from scratch, how to cook over the fire, how to use a compass and read a map,
those are great questions.
Make it safe to drink, and how to attend basic hygiene without amenities. Yeah, it's kind of
that's
hard.
That's a good one.
That's because it's like 20 questions in one.
Right.
So yes, let me move some stuff around. So we can kind of break it down. I'm game.
Meant to be says, sorry, those were how to be minimalist and prepper. I love it. That was great.
Yeah, the first one says how to make home remedies or medicine using herbs. Well, I promote these all the time on my channel. I have links in a lot of my videos, and these are books on just what you're asking. Let me see if I can get all that in there. Medicinal plants and herbs. Backyard medicine.
And do you have those on your channel, like under videos or links to them, or?
If you go, matter of fact, I'm going to do something here down the road, and make it. I'm going to put all my links on, let's say, somewhere. I'm going to figure it out. But right now, those books are under my most recent Medical Monday, which was, what did I do? I did what was it? I did some sort of flowers. Hold on, like stuff for depression and anxiety.
Right. St. John's wort is a big one.
I talked about ashwagandha, lavender, chamomile, valerian root. I dived into those plants, and I usually pick 5 plants when I do the medicinal stuff. So if that's my most recent video, which is last Medical Monday, and you can find all the links to those 3 books right there on that video underneath it in the description. How is the other one? How to preserve food without electricity, fermentation. Food, if you know how to smoke meat, you can use a smoker. If you know how to build a smoker, out in the woods. Like I said, these things, you had to go in more detail, and we probably would be here for a week talking about it. But a smoker, knowing how to salt meat. I mean, think about this. Back then, they didn't have refrigerators. They had like root cellars, and if you're in a cold environment, then you get a little bit of a bonus because you can kind of store stuff in the ground and kind of like a makeshift root cellar. But looking how to do those, I'm going to go into the detail about that. But salting meat, smoking meat, those are 2 key things that you can do without electricity.
I just seen Lady Gray say, I wonder if you could do a container garden in a van. What kind of van do you have? Mine is a step van, is like a bread truck. So my van is rather big, and I minimalized when I moved into this. I have a lot of storage, and I don't need to worry about the weight really, because I don't have giant water tanks that I fill. I use like 7-gallon Reliance ones, and each one's 7 gallons. And so yeah, I could probably do something like that in my van if I could figure it out. But
do you have a tarp, Gina, that you carry in your van?
yes, I have 2 tarps I carry.
Because you can always use a tarp, catch rainwater, and since you're in a rainy environment.
Oh yeah, nice.
You never know. Things are multi-use.
Right.
The next part of that question is how to start a fire from scratch and how to cook over that fire. So how to start a fire from scratch. I mean, use your environment. This is just material that I picked up off the ground.
Like make a feather stick with a knife.
Correct. You can do that. Feather stick. Yeah. That's why you got to have a good knife. That's why the knife is
That's why I want that knife.
Yeah. Baton wood, feathering wood. And you can use, let's say, some people have the right kind of glasses if you wear glasses, the glass glasses.
Right.
But if you have a small magnifying glass and using the sun, you can do that. But like I said, a ferro rod. With a striker. Those are different ways that you can make fire. And there's a lot of different ways. I'm trying to think of other things that we could discuss here, but those are just some of the basics.
Well, and those little metal containers, that's where you get into the 5 things. Thank you, ZX2 for me, for the $10 super sticker. You rock, my friend. The containers, the aluminum or the stainless steel containers, is that what those are? Yeah. Like you were saying, the water bottles I have are stainless steel. They're 64 ounce. You can heat them up and they keep water cool. You can also heat those up and put them in a sleeping bag if need be to keep you warm. Maybe you're stuck out somewhere and, get them warm, like warm up rocks or whatever and put, not burn them, but get them warm and help keep yourself warm.
Yeah, rocks are very good because they retain heat.
But now, do some rocks do explode, don't they, kind of when you heat them up?
Yes. Yeah. And that's when it comes to a lot of things. There's a lot of research to be done and knowing geology and, like I said, a lot of stuff like that. Certain rocks.
I watch a lot of bushcrafters. I've never had to use this stuff. Becky Allen, thank you for the $4.99 super sticker, my friend. You're awesome. But I love watching the bushcrafters, how they build fires and all that. I mean, there's so many ways. And they always have a little metal pots that they can cook in, and
these things
very lightweight. Yeah, very lightweight.
This one's been used and abused.
What is that? Oh, yep.
That's how you know that when you got to make sure people really use their stuff.
My favorite thing I want from watching bushcrafters is a wooden coffee cup. Now, I mean, you're a bushcrafter, you got a wooden coffee cup. I'm telling you, that's the way to go. And coffee's big on prepping too, guys. Didn't you see that trailer that we put together there? So now, what was the other questions in that? One big question?
They kind of threw in the fire thing is how to cook over that fire. I mean, an open flame, you can cook over open flame. You can run sticks through, let's say, an animal and roast that animal. Some people use hot coals.
Right.
They'll take the meat and throw it right on the hot coals. Hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of how to cook meat on something like that.
Right. I've seen them cook meat on rocks, heat up rocks on the fire.
You can heat up some decent rocks when you're doing your fire in the morning, get that hot and move it over that slab of rock, let's say a slate or whatever you have, and throw the egg right on top of that.
Yep.
Bacon
I've seen them take smooth down a stick with a good knife or a little hatchet and stick it right through the meat and just turn it over that fire. Take 2 little sticks with forks in them, put on in each, put that in the middle, and just turn it over. It's excellent. Yeah.
You'd be amazed at what you can make with just a knife and wood.
Okay. PAMT/FF9 says, just don't use wet sandstone. Right.
Where are we at on that question? How to use a compass and read a map. That's a video in itself. If you do get a map, you get a map of depending if you're a traveler, you're going to need maps for everywhere. But if I'm stuck in an area, I have waterproof maps for my area because a wet map is going to do you no good. Right. And topographic maps work really well. And don't cheap out on the compass.
Right. Don't cheap out on the compass, right?
Uh,
Now, back to having different, like the caches, the prepper cache or whatever.
mhm.
I'm not sure what you call it. So if you have different properties throughout the United States and you're going to do a cache on a property, would you stock it with that bucket food or the MRE? I mean, or
I mean, you could. I would probably go a little further with the bucket. I would probably maybe put it in a. There's some large dry bags or maybe a plastic trash bag. I would seal it up with some duct tape. I would take it a little bit further just to protect the integrity of
right,
it. I mean, they're pretty well sealed, but you just never know. I would probably go a little bit further with the protection of that, and I would use. You can get these cheap. You can get the trash bags, the contractor bags. You can find in like your hardware stores. They're really thick, heavy duty contractor bags, and wrap that bucket in that and then duct tape the crap out of it.
right. Hello, Johnny's Journey. Now, Johnny's Journey is a van lifer. She is a traveling nurse. She
Oh,
has a van that she built out. You should check out her channel. I think you'll dig it. And Johnny, you should check out Greyman. Great channel. But yeah, she's her van is awesome. But she's a traveling nurse. And Greyman does Medical Mondays, which I think you'll find interesting, Johnny, if you check it out. His live shows, Medical Mondays, are way cool.
thank you, Gina.
That's one of my favorite shows you do. Should you? Okay, here's time for exploring. Should you always boil the rocks first to keep them from exploding?
I have never ran into that situation with the rocks in my area. And it's I use these flat rocks. I use one for a base to build my fire on if I had the opportunity to.
Right.
And I use basically I'm using the rocks that I'm using most of the time is to reflect heat back into me. It's kind of like a wind guard and to keep the heat centralized to where it's at. Like I said, I don't know the kind of rocks that you have. There's different ways to treat rocks. I know some people have done that. But then you have to think about if you have a wet rock and you apply extreme heat to it, you're creating this thing here where that water's trying to escape that rock. You know what I mean? So that to me, that thinks that it possibly could explode at that point, because you're trying to draw that heat out of it. I could be wrong. I'm not a geologist. I'm just thinking scientifically, possibly, when you apply heat to certain things, it changes stuff. So I'm not sure.
Right. Now I have one. This is a simple question. So if it was a fast bug out, you didn't have time to grab something. Can you really filter water with charcoal and a bandana?
Yeah, you can. Depending on the water, God.
When there was also another question, they make those straws. I believe Patty B asked that question. I missed it. The drinking straws.
She's talking about the life straws.
The life straws. Are those good to have?
The life straws are okay.
Okay.
The reason I say that they're about $10 cheaper than the Sawyer, but they only do about, I think, 10,000 gallons. And the problem is when you use a life straw, they can fail on you, especially if you don't clean them properly. Because when you use a life straw, you kind of have to run some clean water through it that you've already, let's say, cleaned, and to blow the particulates out of it. Because if not, it gets clogged and it fails. And if you look at some of the research done on that, it has a lot of issues like that. But some people love them.
Right.
They take good care of them, and they work well. But if I had my choice, it would be the Sawyer Mini or this full size Sawyer. They make a better product.
Yeah, Johnny Journey, get a Sawyer. She said, yeah. For sure. I'm going to get me one of those. I definitely want one of those. I'll probably get the mini one because how many gallons is the mini one?
100,000.
Yeah, that'll outlast me. I'm only allotted 2 liters of liquid a day due to my heart. So, hey, that'll last me a long time. Let's see. Only evacuate if your life is in danger and watch out for ambush. Let's see. Good idea to heat rocks directly on a fire. Okay, so yeah, if you guys got questions, throw them in the chat. We're going to end pretty soon. And Gray, thank you for being here with us and hanging out, man. There's so much to talk about. This, I know you could go on forever. I could.
Right. That's it.
But we'll do it again sometime. And if you guys don't know Greyman, go check his channel out. He does great lives. I like Late Night with Gray, and you gotta check his memberships out. And Greyman's got merch. That's a big deal. I gotta get me a Greyman sweatshirt. And he's got great contests and channel members over there. You can win some of these really cool knives. That's still going, right?
Yep, I'm gonna drop a video. Maybe I'll do it tonight. And
okay,
you're a member, so you'll know.
Yeah.
to get that giveaway going. I wanted to like draw it out a little bit to see if we can get more members. I picked up a couple extra. The gentleman that I had, Citizen Guardian, he joined up to the Grey family last night, which is very awesome of him. I don't know if you heard me the other day. I'm thinking about doing something really awesome for the members. Depending on how the membership grows, I'm thinking about doing a special giveaway for all the members, literally giving every member something like a what is it called? A surprise gift. It could be a ferro rod. It could be a dragon stove. It could be, windproof or typhoon matches. Just, I kind of want to, take the money that I get from some of those memberships and just give it back to the members, so that everybody kind of gets a little something as a thank you from me for joining and supporting the channel.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys will love his channel. I'm telling you. And he's got different levels. He's got one called the G Spot, right?
Yeah, that's oh boy.
I was like, yes, Grey, go Grey.
And it's funny to say that, Gina, because when I was contemplating that name, all the ladies that are my subscribers like, yes, we want it. And I'm like, okay, you guys have said it.
Yeah, dude, I love that.
I was like, okay, we'll make that tier. But I have the Grey family, which is $1.99, the Grey Nation, which is $4.99, or the Grey Nation, which is $4.99, and the Forever Loved G Spot for $9.99. If you're really want to take it that far.
You're great. I love his channel. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight, man. I appreciate it. And you guys be sure and check out Grey. And I'm going to play a trailer for channel members. But Grey, thank you. I don't want to keep you too long, brother, because I know it's late over there.
Oh, no, thank you so much. I wanted to say thank you to everybody who was with us today in chat. You guys are awesome. It was hopefully I'll get to see some. If you guys come over from Gina, drop something in the comments. Say, hey, I'm from Gina's channel. That's where I came from. So I know that you came from, so I can welcome you. And all that fun stuff like that. So appreciate everybody here today. Hopefully you guys got some great information.
And you guys be sure and check out his contest for channel members, because these are not play around knives that he's giving away. These are good knives. And be sure and check it out, guys. Grey, thank you again, man.
Anytime, Gina.
All right. I'll talk to you later, brother.
Y'all take care.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Let me play. We're going to talk for a few minutes. Don't leave yet. Let me play a trailer for channel members. If it'll... All right, guys, we are going to get off here. I love all of you. Thank you so much. And if you have not looked in that mirror today and told yourself that you are amazing, you need to do so now, because you all are. All the new people in here tonight, thank you for being here. All the super chatters, you guys all rock, and all family members and everybody in the chat. I love you all. And here is a little outro, and we'll see you on the next one.